11 students from 11 states have approached the Supreme Court to postpone the joint entrance examination as well as the NEET examination. The JEE main, remember, is scheduled to take place between the 1st and the 6th of September. The NEET is scheduled to take place on the 13th of September and the JEE advanced on the 27th of September. The petitioners have said something very direct. They only want these exams to be postponed till normalcy returns. The petitioners have also urged the court to increase the number of NEET and JEE examination centres across the country and provide at least one centre in each district of each state, given the fact that students are no longer in their city or state where they're necessarily studying. A lot of these students have in fact gone back home. We'll be joined by the students as well as by Anubha Srivastav, who's the president of the India-wide Parents Association. She's with us on the broadcast. We also have Aman Singh, who is a NEET aspirant. He's a student who's joining us from Bihar. Anubha Srivastav, if I can come to you first as a parent, how important is this petition? What is it that you're demanding? All right, Anubha, I'm afraid we have an audio trouble with you there. We're going to try and reconnect with you. Aman Singh is also with us. He's a student from Bihar. He's a NEET aspirant. Aman, what is it that students are demanding? Very interestingly, these are 11 students across 11 states. So there's a very big representation that is being made in this petition as well to the Supreme Court. What is it that you're demanding?
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, actually we are demanding a postponement of NEET till November or December month, because there is a high spike in corona cases, and we already saw in KCET exam that SOP are totally failing, which government provides. And in states like Bihar, we have only 2 centers, Patna and Gaya. And now itself, 16 districts of Bihar are totally flood affected. So besides corona, this is also a major issue. And around 70,000 people have to travel Patna and Gaya. And that situation totally becomes uncontrollable, because I am a dropper, and last time or every time when I go to appear for NEET, there is a huge crowd. Jam takes place on the road of Patna. So we are demanding to postpone it a little bit.
All right. Aman, you raise a very important point. You're saying there are only 2 examination centers in Bihar. You come from a state that's not just battling the coronavirus, but you're also battling a very severe flood situation. So I think very important points that are being raised there. Anubha, if I can come back to you, and I hope we have a better audio line with you this time. What is it that the parents' associations are demanding? As a parent, what is the representation you're making before court?
See, as of now, why we want this postponement is that because the number of COVID cases are rising. It's almost more than 50,000, and we don't know by September what will be the numbers. Not only the number of cases is a big concern, but at the same time, this COVID pandemic and COVID disease has been declared as an airborne disease by WHO.
Yes.
Not only that, this COVID is now getting spread. There's a community spread also now, which has been reported by the medical council.
So obviously the concerns as far as parents are concerned is that it's a health hazard, it's a health risk, and therefore they don't want to expose children. Fair enough. You know, we're joined by students from the length and breadth of India. These are aspirants for the toughest examinations, you know, that take place in the country, the medical entrance exams and the engineering entrance exams. We have Manas Chandra with us on the phone line. He's joining us from Chapra in Bihar. He's one of the 11 petitioners in this case. Manas, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it that you're demanding from the Supreme Court?
Ma'am, we demand Supreme Court to postpone our examinations regarding this pandemic situation. And I'm coming from Bihar. There are different situations in Bihar regarding accepting any other state. Ma'am, Bihar is facing an extra...
Yes. Manas, can you hear me?
Hello. Ma'am, am I audible to you?
Yes, Manas, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Bihar is also healing from flood. We have 16 districts which are totally sink in flood.
Right. So it's a very difficult situation, especially on the ground in states like Bihar. We'll also try and connect with students from other parts of the country to better try and understand what are some of those problems. But if I can come back to you, Anubha Srivastav, the lawyer in this particular petition said that, you've moved and requested the Education Ministry for a response. You're going to the court as a last resort option in a certain sense.
Right.
Who all have you spoken to, and what's the response that you've gotten from the government so far?
See, we have given our representation from our association side to not only Ministry of Education, we have also written to NTA, National Testing Agency. We have written to Home Ministry and Health Ministry also. But till date, we could not get any response from all these ministries and departments. I also called them up and had a word with them personally also. But everybody was saying, we don't know, we have no idea. And they were just not replying to our concern and issues, which is very serious. So then, as a last resort, we moved to Supreme Court because this is a very serious issue. Where students are having a lot of mental stress now because they are very much concerned whether they'll be able to give exam or not in September.
Anuba, that's a very important point. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. I want to go back to Aman Singh though. Aman, because you're an aspirant, you're a student. Tell us a little bit about how difficult are these exams? How many years do you prepare for? And what is the situation right now? Because you're not just battling with the pandemic. There's also, of course, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety among students about what's going to happen in the coming few months.
See, ma'am, this exam is a really difficult one. And being a dropper, this was my second attempt. So it becomes most important for me, and students like us. And we are already tensed on the day of exam. Going to centers, we are already very tensed, and wearing mask for prolonged 5 hours continuously. We are called to centers before 1.5 hours of commencing the exam. Totally, we are perplexed at the centers.
All right. So, of course, it's an extremely tense time. But, Aman, break it down for our viewers. How many years do students typically prepare? You're appearing for the medical entrance exam. How many years have you been preparing for?
Ma'am, I completed my 12 in 2017. From that time, I have been trying for it.
Okay.
But also, I know many people who are trying from 2013. So it's a very critical exam which should be conducted when the situation gets normalized. Under this kind of pressure, wearing mask, checking, maintaining social distance, it's not at all possible for a candidate to focus perfectly.
Right. Also, I want to understand from you, because one of the other demands that is being made in this petition, Aman, is regarding increasing the number of centers where these tests can take place.
Okay, ma'am. Speaking to that, I will say NTA already told in July, when the NEET was to be conducted on 26 July, NTA already told that they have doubled the center almost. Okay, but now many centers are in contamination zone, and even doubling the center, there must be minimum number of 250 to 300 students in each center. And if we count the same number of parents, then 600 to 700, it's still not will able to maintain the social distance. And if we consider increasing the centers in state like Bihar to other districts, then we see in 2017 NEET or before NEET was conducted, there were many cases of paper leaking. So it's not possible.
Okay, so it's extremely difficult, you're saying, to also be able to maintain social distancing, and also students are in far-flung districts, in various states across the country. So very difficult for them to access centers which are mostly based in the cities. We also have Sayantan Biswas. He's joining us from West Bengal. He's one of the main student petitioners in this particular case. Sayantan, what is it that you're appealing to the court for? What are some of the problems that are being faced by students like yourself on the ground?
Good evening, ma'am. To begin with, there are lots of students who have appealed for a further postponement of the examination, and the various problems that we have gathered from them include transportation, increasing the number of centers, the ongoing COVID pandemic, which is spreading a lot of fear all around, the community spread and the airborne spread, and the ability of the virus to spread airborne,
Yes.
which has been claimed by WHO, and the medical expenses. Suppose someone with a comorbid condition, someone's parents get affected, then the vast majority of the examinees will not be able to afford the medical expenses, which is very high.
Absolutely, yes.
Also, I just read an article not so long ago which says that the medical infrastructure in India is almost crumbling.
All right. So, whole host of concerns, whole host of apprehensions being voiced by students here on the broadcast tonight. We've had students joining us from Bihar and West Bengal. We've also had somebody from the Parent Association joining us from Mumbai. All of them appealing to the Supreme Court to postpone these key exams. These are medical and engineering entrance exams, perhaps the toughest in the country. Students prepare for 2 years, 3 years, sometimes even 5 years in order to be able to crack these exams. Aman Singh, Sayantan Baswas, Anubha Srivastav and Manas Chandra, appreciate you so much for joining us on the broadcast this evening.